Check, check. Check. Cool. I think this works. I'm going to write a big band chart. I already started, but I don't know how the YouTube streaming works. Let's figure it out. It's not my password. Two-factor authentication. Why do I always have to two-factor authentication to everything? It gets old. Resend it. Oh, and it doesn't work. Funny how that works. It just doesn't work. All right, let's get this working. We're trying. Oh, it's promising. So it's me. Did it work? Continue. This is like the 4th password I've had to enter. Uh-oh. I realized, wait, it was just a pin. It was a random pin. It's not an important pin, though. Continue. Ugh. Close. There we go. I think it works now. All right. If someone joins, that's cool. If not, that's cool. View. And I think there's a way for me to monitor this. I assume, right? It's all very new to me. Let's listen from the top. So started my melody. I need to fully flesh out my melody. I basically am writing a blues with a bridge, is what I call it. And the blues is just the C minor blues. I'm writing this for a high school ensemble. So I'm not trying to be too hard, but I also know the trumpets can handle some stuff. So I'm giving them some stuff. And I think this is a pretty cool start to a melody so far. So I'm going to work with this melody over the full form of the blues over here so I can just think about my phrasing. That starts halfway through my F minor. Here's my F minor. We're going to come here, Shift N and paste. Look at that. So let's write our full melody. I think this is actually streaming. If you happen to start watching, feel free to say anything in the chat because I can actually participate. Live chat. Okay. Cool. Then I used to do some streaming on Twitch, but I think I'm just going to start doing my streaming on YouTube. I think it's more comfortable for my audience, especially Facebook users, to access. So, all right, let's keep writing. We're going to stay out of the way of the turnaround. Tell you something here. I don't know what to do. Something there. I think it's cool to have a pickup back to the head. So let's see if my sequencing works here. This also needs a grace note. Put that in. And I like these grace notes. And I like it as an F sharp. Nope, that's not what I meant. Just that one. It's a cool melody. So let's see how it fits. Something almost. We'll just straight up steal this because sequencing is good. We like sequencing here. Emphasizing that 11 is pretty cool. So now I basically need to make a decision. This is where I always make a crucial decision in my melodies. How busy do I want it to be? So if I'm thinking about the ensemble I'm writing for, this high school ensemble, I want to keep it just a little more relaxed, right? Whereas if I was writing for like a pro ensemble, I might give them a little more busy melody. But I think it's cool if I keep my melody kind of sparse. It gives me the opportunity to do some counterpoint. So here's what we'll do. Right now what's happening is I have this whole intro, which is actually going to be like my bridge and my transition material I'll use a couple times. And then here's like, if we break the blues into 3 parts, the second 2/3 of the blues, where it goes to the 4 chord, right? We'll keep this sparse, I think. Or, I mean, I need to decide if I want to wind down. So let's listen. Maybe big brass hits. And then finishing off the melody here, right? Sounds good. And then basically have it all come down to this back soft blues again. Since I'm doing this a cappella beginning, let the whole blues play out, and I'm tracking my time here. Counterpoint material, back to the melody. 2, 3, pedal point, maybe pedal point, and do a pedal point into a solo. It just might be a little too sudden given the pacing. So let me go ahead. Let's just write this out and figure it out. I want to write a cool part for my turnaround. da, da. I kind of like that, the blues marchy style. Always have been a big fan. And then we can open it up there. Get out of the staccato. Put a nice. Look at that. Cool. I'm liking that. And we can put a big stab there. I might even put a break. Let's put an empty space there. We'll just leave this bar out. I think that'll be pretty cool. And I like to notate this. I'll just put 2 generic slashes there. And the trick for my playback, what I'm doing, especially because I need a mock-up for this, so some high schoolers can listen to it. And let's get rid of that res. Re-res. Love that function. If you caught my last drum notation basics video for Dorico, you'll see that this drum part, the way I'm working with it, I actually just saw a comment about someone saying, time for Musescore. I don't blame you. It was a little intimidating at first until I realized, once I'm like using drums in my I'm writing my drums as I'm composing. And my process used to always be write and then do my drum part. And I realized that was wrong. That was a pain in the butt. That was a hassle. It is so much easier to just write my drum parts as I go. And also have them be like the final formatted part. And if I go and add a voice or change something or add a cue, it doesn't change things. That was so frustrating in Sibelius. So I have a scratched drum track down here. And in my next video I'm doing on lead sheets, I'm going to show you recreating a lead sheet from a real book. I'm going to find a lead sheet that has rhythmic cues above the staff. I'll show you how to do a really cool way to make a rhythm part and add those cues on there and automatically do transposition using the parts. It's going to be so cool. Now, maybe it's worth notating. So I like to do the cymbal choke there. I guess there's 2 ways to notate that. I won't do that for now. I'm just going to put 2 hits just so I can think. I just want to get this melody done. Cool. Just get a loud dynamic. Yeah, that is 5. Oop. I know what I meant to do. And let's put. And this is also a scratch piano track here. I'm just writing in some comping just because it's nice to have it. Cool. Now we have a cool break until that's C minor 9. Now we need a really cool melody there. I think that might be cool. Now, I really want to line up my hits, because right now I have this coming on the downbeat. Do I want that bar to come up on upbeat? I feel like it sounds better on the downbeat of bar 7. Something like that. Yeah. ba ba da da da. So was that dotted? Sorry, not dotted. Oh, I always write my grace notes after, usually. Just what I do. And now we got a triplet. Oh, sorry. And now we're getting out of that. I realized I didn't say that in my video. Shift semicolon to get out of triplet input mode if you're in there. This will give me lots of opportunities for harmonization. Cool. Yeah, that's good slurring. That's a tenuto. Gotta mark it so they don't play marcato. And I know I always mouse over to my grace note. That's just my bad habit. Yeah, and that's a 5. I kind of like to put. No, I'll just leave it. Okay, let's listen. Now I'm just gonna suppress that. The grace note playback, I don't have it like working right now with my actual playback instrument, so it sounds a little funky. So we will get rid of it. I kind of dig that melody. That's our turnaround. Then this goes here. That might be the whole melody. Nothing wrong with that. So I almost feel like I want to have two variations of it. Is one where it's obvious there's going to be that hard stop in there. One where there's not. So I need to decide where do I want the hard stop. And I feel like when I actually start making composition videos, my number one thing I think about is pacing. It easily has to be the most important part about composition is pacing. Because what's cool about composers is a young composer can have very good ideas, but they typically don't pace them out right. Basically, they throw too many ideas in. They might make a song that has like 4 distinct sections. I'm like, dude, just make 4 fleshed out arrangements. Like, you have enough ideas to do it. What they typically lack is how to do the pacing and the variation of those ideas. They can only give you one idea, like verbatim. So, I already can have 2 ideas for a chorus. But I want to make sure my pacing gets me to where my solos are, because I have this whole... I like this chorale intro. Because this ensemble, we actually have to hire a pianist. They weren't able to recruit a high school pianist. It's a nonprofit group. So creating something that can stand alone for the students will be empowering for them. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what I want. That's pretty cool. I'm happy. Yeah, then I'll just go this. Nope. Stuck to the wrong. Okay. See, I find it very easy to stream, even when no one's watching, because I regularly talk to myself. That's how I think. No, I'm not crazy. I'll watch myself from my other channel. Oh, that is so cool. David, this is the David Porter, right? On Facebook, love it when people actually share my stuff. Not because I want to be shared, but because I worked very hard to try to be an expert at this, and I'm by no means am I an expert, but I am a better Googler than most of you. So typically, if someone asks me a question, there is a 99% chance, yes, I can figure out quicker than you, but that's because I'm good at Google, not because I'm good at Dorico. Who's good at Dorico? Just good at Googling. And then the principal trumpet of the West Virginia Symphony just recommended me in a group. That's very cool. Now I have to give my annoying response. I'm also very excited because I'm getting so close to 500 subscribers. And to me, that's proof that I just need to make more videos because it's so cool. I love making videos. Right. Try going to more than the font I'm looking for. Template chords. Big band template is out. Videos detailing how you can customize your word. Thank you for sharing. Streaming right now. Right. Oh, no way someone's joined. Thoughts? Oh, okay. So, my thoughts on Sibelius, I feel like I actually have a very fair way of thinking about this because I love Dorico. I'm like so biased, it's not even funny. But Sibelius, if you do a lot of contemporary, non-traditional notation, and you're doing like anything where you need pure control, I would go with Sibelius or Musescore 4. Now, personally, I would go with Musescore 4 over Sibelius, especially if you're making custom graphics. I've even done some A score that I don't even know if I have anymore, where I use Musescore 4 to make some custom graphics, and this was before Dorico was in version 5. Because to be honest, in version 5, you can do anything you want. Musescore 4 is extremely powerful. Sibelius is just, it's so buggy and old. It's hard for me to recommend. If you have access to a cheap Sibelius license, maybe through the school, I would say, obviously, try it out. But I just can't say it's worth the money, especially if you're looking for features that Musescore lacks. That Dorico lacks. You're typically looking for something that needs you to just override everything. You can do anything you want. It's almost like Microsoft Paint, but for music notation. Use Musescore 4 because you can literally do anything you want, just like Sibelius. But in my opinion, if you're doing any sort of pretty standard notation, commercial rating, orchestral rating, wind ensemble rating, big band rating like I'm doing on the screen, go Dorico. The playback and mock-up abilities are fantastic. I actually just had a company reach out to me asking me if I'll use their samples in Dorico, and it runs through Contact, so I can also use it in my DAW. I think that's what really sets Dorico apart is the modern composer can't just be someone who writes and then has their music performed live. The fortunate few can, but the reality for me is I have to record my own music if I want people to hear it. I don't always have the opportunity or the money to go hire a pro band to be like, hey, record this. Your mock-ups on Musescore 4 and Sibelius will never get to the ability that Dorico can produce. And that's not to say they're bad. In my opinion, I actually just answered a discussion on Facebook where someone was like, all I do is make worksheets for my middle school choir students. Should I get Dorico from Finale? I said, absolutely not. Like, maybe if you want to get into serious engraving. But Musescore 4 is free. That is free. Free. You can't be free. You literally cannot be free. Dorico, the reason I would easily choose Dorico over Sibelius without even comparing the features is I hate subscriptions. Subscriptions are bad. Subscriptions are evil. I do not pay for subscriptions unless I really have to. Like Netflix. I don't have a choice, right? But Sibelius, I actually have a perpetual license of Sibelius right here. It's sitting right there. It's just so old, and every time the license, it constantly breaks and does weird things, and now it won't run on Windows 11 for whatever reason. I just can't justify buying it again. That's my thoughts. There's absolutely nothing wrong with Musescore 4. Sibelius, I'm just not the biggest fan of the company and their pricing models. Feel free to ask any other questions. I don't know if you were watching yet. I was talking about what am I an expert at and why you should listen to me. I'm not an expert at anything except Google. I swear to God. Like, if you ask me something, I can find a good answer on Google really fast. I have used Sibelius. The standout features of Dorico, you mean? Okay. So, the standout features of Dorico is actually that last video I made. I don't know if you watched it, the drum notation basics. It literally came out yesterday. I don't expect you to have watched it by now. Drum notation in Dorico was the reason I stopped using Sibelius, just straight up. And that's because I hate working with voice layers. So like the way the way Sibelius does it is if I want to draw a cue, let's say, and I'm just going to draw a really bad cue. It's going to look really ugly. Let's just draw a cue of this alto saxophone in the drum part. Here's my drum part. Instead of having to manually write the cue, I can just do this. Cue is drawn. And it'll actually expand its range. Sometimes you just have to do that. Notice it automatically put my whole rhythm from alto 1. And watch, if I make a change, like let me move this over, it changes it automatically. It's crazy. Just because if you do big band charts, I don't know if you're like me, like doing the stupid drum parts was literally like an hour-long task I would have to do after I finished everything else. With Dorico, I can do it as I go. It automatically formats it. What I also love is it automatically formats my chord symbols for me. So I would get yelled at by my composition professors because they would see one, and sorry, I have the big bar numbers on. Let me switch to page view. It will help. So this is what happens if I didn't do any engraving. Let me reset that. There we go. It's obviously ugly right now. So Dorico, you do engraving last. That's just kind of the generally accepted method of practice. But you see this chord, the C minor 9? What I would always do in my Sibelius ones is one of them might be C-9, one of them might say C-M9, one of them might say C-M-I-N-9. And what would happen, and composition professors would be like, you got to like go through and fix all these so they all match. And And it's like impossible. I swear I would always miss something, especially half diminished, because I would always enter it as minor 7 flat 5. And then eventually I was one professor, he was like, hey, use the half diminished symbol. I'm like, yeah, I'll use the half diminished symbol. I swear that's one score I was trying to fix. It's one of my first big band charts still doesn't even have all of them as half diminished. What I can do here is go into my engraving options. Here's all my chord symbol settings, and it's basically autocorrect for chords. I love it. So you see that half diminished? I'm going to change it so all my half diminished automatically appears minor 7 flat 5. Bulk operations. That's why so many Finale users are having a hard time migrating to Dorico, is because they're used to having to do things on a one-by-one basis. But in Dorico, it wants you to write everything out and then make it appear the way you want, all at once. And ultimately what it becomes is a massive time saver, because when I'm writing big band charts, that's like the main thing I write, is big band charts and lead sheets. Is 1, 2, 3, 4. So like figure out my bar spacing. I actually don't like this bar spacing right now. But like, let's fix it to 8 bars per page. This is 12 bar. I'm not going to do it yet. But that's it. I just have to change my bar spacing. It's so cool. My big tip for Dorico, if you ever get into Dorico, is I almost always exclusively write in the gallery view. And I'll actually fix my score right here. So if you're looking over here, you're probably looking at this and thinking, this thing is ugly as like anything else. But you see how I have these tracks showing down here? Those shouldn't be showing. They're supposed to be hidden. I just haven't hidden them yet. Let me hide them so you can see what I'm talking about. And you can hide things on a per staff basis or a per layout basis. You have a lot of control over. I use these scratch tracks just to bolster my playback to be a little better. Okay, cool. So it automatically looks a lot better. How do you access them? I almost exclusively write in gallery mode instead of page mode, and it just gives me my full everything I can access, and that way I can do my scratch notation. Like if you're looking at this piano part, I'm actually writing the comping in here, but in my actual piano part, I can display something else, and I just basically can ignore that scratch piano completely when I go to engrave. It's very cool. I'll continue working on this. So I don't know if you were here when I was talking about what this project is. This is a minor blues for a high school ensemble. And I'm just trying to come up with something cool. I call it a blues with a bridge. A minor blues with a basic added section. So I'll just play it from top. Of course. And feel free to ask anything you want. I happen to have an hour free today, so I'm taking it. Or I should say I'm not doing my homework for grad school. Ignore the no dynamics. Cool. I need to put some brass hits in here, but basically I was trying to set this goal of like, I want to have 2 ways to access a minor blues. The first way is just straight up a minor blues, which you can see here. 12-bar blues, nothing special about it. And it just has my fully fleshed out melody. I'll play it once. It's a blues. Very high school friendly. Pros can dig it. blues. And I basically envisioned in my head, I was like, all right, these are high schoolers. I don't want them to be struggling too hard on the changes. What if I just gave them something they can just rip C blues over all the time? So I was like, I will just eliminate the first 4 bars of it and just make this extended groove. And it's like so easy for them because all they have to do is C minor. It cannot get easier. And then it just passes so well right into there because I'm just like C minor, C minor, C minor, C minor. As soon as I get to the 4 chord, it's like this super nice resolution here at C. So I need some brass hits. You can watch me explode some parts out and stuff. It's a pretty efficient how we do some of the note writing in Dorico. I think I'm one I hit here. Bow, bow, something right there. Oh, I just got a YouTube comment. Let's see. It's the guy who was saying we should definitely just use Musescore, and I'm like, yeah, it depends. It depends on your workflow. I can get behind that. He says, sure. So he said Musescore time on my drum video. He says, sure, it might be lagging in advanced feature since I was just on a live stream talking about the benefits of Musescore. You are nailing it. I've actually used Musescore for pro gigs. I think it holds its own against Dorico in many rights. You cannot beat the price. Yep. All right, so we want some cool brass hits here. Out, down. Do I just want 2 upbeats? It almost sounds a little boring. I just don't want it to run into there. Let's do the. This is a big C minor 9 chord. So I might voice it like this. And here's a really cool feature I love about Dorico. I'm 100% sure you can do it in everything else. I just have never done it in anything else. Repeat. If you click R. So I'm going to put these notes down here. And we want some big. So I'm writing my bass trombone in a very high school friendly manner. But if I put this in front of a pro ensemble, I fully expect basically the entire bass trombone part to be read down an octave. And these don't need to be too hard. They can just be a mezzo forte. And we can do group dynamics very easily. And those are linked and added together. So now this begs the question, what is going to fill my 2/5? Because the 2/5 is very important in the blues. So I guess my mini ensemble I like to pull out of a big band is actually trumpet 3, trumpet 4, trombone 1, and trombone 2. This is very friendly for high school ensembles because trumpet 1 and 2, typically they're playing up on the top of a range that's going to be comfortable for our high schoolers. So we just got to pace them a little bit. I could do a 4-part harmony deal there. And it could be pretty cool. What do you think? something. It's not that bad. I think that could be pretty powerful there. If I did the full, what do you think? Should I do the full brassin section during the 2/5, or should I break it down to a smaller counterpoint line? That kind of passes off to the brass. I mean, to the saxes. Let's do a smaller response line just to break this up. And I'll have it pick right up off of the and I'll write it in 3, then I'll harmonize it. I might do a nice unison sax. So here's the only problem, and I'm totally down. So I'm thinking to keep the melody broken up, maybe not saxes, but I think I might try it. Let's hear it. Let's think of the saxes. And we'll, it can't be straight A, so I'll put a triplet in there. How about? And I'm going to write it backwards. So let's put a nice da-da. And it definitely wants to start on this note. I can just hear that. So I'm feeling a triplet there. Ba-da-da. Yeah, I think this could be a little scoopy. So this is actually something I just learned, and I learned it for the video I made, is I can do that and type scoop, and it writes my scoop. And then we can group paste. I feel so bad for the saxophone parts. They're going to be so full, but it's okay. They're saxophones. Well, what do you play? Do you play anything? I like that. I like giving the rhythm section some time to breathe there. Cool. So that gets me into the next iteration, the melody. I will give the brass the stab. Tweet up, but up. I think I actually already voiced this over here the way I like. Now I'll revoice it. It's still an A flat in the top though. I'm a keys player. Very cool. Dude, I swear some of the best musicians I know are like engineers or medical students. This one trumpet player in Pittsburgh, and I'm from West Virginia. Yeah, West Virginia. I grew up in Pittsburgh, in Pennsylvania, but now I I live in West Virginia. I teach at West Virginia University while I'm getting my master's, and I'm married. Oh, cool. Someone else. Stock sounds. Yes. So this is actually. Well, I keep talking about playing. The guy I know, he was my trumpet teacher. I got my undergrad in jazz trumpet and composition, and he works at UPMC Hospital as a cancer nurse. And I'm just like, and he's like Maynard Ferguson level lead chops, which, by the way, I know the arranger for Maynard Ferguson personally. Just saying. I studied with him. All right. So, stock sounds, expression maps. So I'm actually planning to make a video on some playback stuff, and I'm going to have two options. This one in particular is actually I have a full Native Instruments collection, and this is Session Horns Pro. And I have some articulation options, and I made my own articulation maps. So if you are digging this playback, I'm actually going to start, I think I literally am getting a mini sponsorship deal to feature a different playback one that actually sounds fantastic. I'll have more info on that when it actually happens. If you dig the Session Horns Pro and you get it, I will give you my expression maps, because they're kind of a pain in the butt to set up. Once they're set up, it's perfect. But I don't want anyone to have to go through it. I'll give it to you. So, Session Horns Pro. For drums, I'm using... It's loading. It's loading a little too long. I'm using Studio Drummer. There it is. Which actually comes with Complete. Are you familiar with Native Instruments? The upright bass I'm using actually sounds fantastic. All right, Atomic. So I will say don't make a decision yet. Unless you already have. I was on the fence about it, but was checking Atomic. Atomic is who reached out to me like 2 days ago. I'm still waiting for a response. They said they were going to give me some sample packs for me to try out and make a video about. And I was planning to make a comparison video between Session Horns Pro and Atomic. I'm still waiting for it to pan out, because right now I don't have an opinion on either. Because they both sound pretty good. I think Atomic might have an edge once I'm actually using it. But either way, they still both use the Contact playback system, Native Instruments. So that's the biggest caveat there for you. I will actually pull up Native Instruments just so everyone... I have no clue to tell how many people are watching, by the way. But I will pull it up so we can know what I'm talking about together. Native Instruments Complete. So I have Native Instruments Complete. And I use a lot of the stock sounds. I also use some of the instruments it comes with. And I have the Ultimate, and I think I'm on version 12. And the drums it comes with are phenomenal. And the stock library just straight up has the best upright bass I've ever heard for some reason. Oh, now that I'm looking at this, I want to buy it. I'm too much of a poor college student for that, though. Ultimate. Oh, it's pre-order. Very cool. So, Complete 15. I think Complete 15. Does it come with Session Horns Pro? So, it comes with the basic Session Horns, which is actually why I got the experience. Let's figure this out. Because it might be your best way to get the best value. Compare bundles. Okay. Let's look. Sampled instruments. Right here. Is it the gentleman I'm using? Oh, Grandeur. However you say that. That's the piano I'm using, and I swear by it. I swear it's the best MIDI keyboard ever. Like, it's just beautiful. Right. And we're comparing. Does standard come with Grandeur? Very cool. It does. Let's keep going. So I also use, when I use electric bass, I think it looks like they just added a whole bunch of them, and they added the session bass as upright bass. So that's cool. And that's available in all of them. So I guess it's really just about looking at the horns. What horns do they come with? Session Horns Pro. actually comes with Ultimate. So if you got Ultimate, Complete 15 Ultimate, I guarantee you can do any mock-up you ever want in jazz. Guaranteed. So that brings us to the atomic horns. Atomic big band horns. Let's look into these. So these guys have reached out to me. I'm going to reach back because I seriously want to do a video on them, a comparison. But I think they sound pretty good. I just haven't had any one-on-one experience. They also have some solo instruments, and that's what particularly is interesting me, because what I'm finding is Session Horns Pro solo instruments just sound a little robotic, and it's hard to get some expression out of them. I'm pretty sure this is going to be more geared towards some expression. But for the section playing, I don't mind Session Horns Pro because the blend is actually pretty accurate. So, follow me. Make sure you're keeping up. I'm going to go pester them after this. Right now, we're adding a hit to the break on our 5-chord. Need some brass there. And then we're going to be going into this nice chill blues so we can build up to a solo section. Personally, I'm a horrible singer, so whistling is better. I have no clue what it sounds like through the microphone, so if it sounds like disgustingly bad or hurting your ears, let me know. So I'm going to voice my trumpets and trombones separately. Cool. And I'm okay. I have a philosophy on repeated notes. Jay Chataway, he ranged for Maynard Ferguson for a while. He also did some scoring for Star Trek and a bunch of like niche kind of horror films. He's a pretty cool guy, and he's one of the guys I've studied with. And he has a strong philosophy on repeated notes. I think has made my writing exceptionally improved from when I was younger. And he says, just don't repeat notes. They sound bad. And why is there a C flat there? That's nasty. Okay. But it's okay in brass hits, but it's not okay in moving saxophone lines. This is okay because of the articulation. But if I were writing a moving line, I would actually switch my voices. And I think I did that over here. Yeah, look. So because in bar 18, these are my trumpets, his philosophy, and this is straight up, the reason I know it's good, because Maynard Ferguson must have liked it too, is I shouldn't repeat those notes because they're part of a line, so it actually makes it a little cleaner to do it that way. So basically, instead of having this repeat in F, I have trumpet 3 assume the trumpet 2 voice there, and I have trumpet 2 assume the trumpet 3 voice. And it actually makes it easier for the players because they their parts are more interesting, more engaging, and sometimes it's easier to articulate technically. Da-da. For young players, I put tenutos followed by an accent just so they know they have to make that da-da. Like, as a pro player, I could just write 2/8 notes and they would nail it, but I like to be thorough with my articulations for sight reading, especially younger ensembles. Let's voice out my trombones. Cool. Got a B there. I guess I can. So it's okay to cross? Absolutely. Crossing voices. So especially the most important part where it's relevant is particularly when the tempo is up, and most importantly in saxophones. Now, you shouldn't constantly cross voices. It's really just crossing voices to avoid repetitions. And it's typically a symptom of, I'll come over here on the saxes. I also plan to make a video about this. Crossing voices is really just a remedy to what happens when you voice something under a lead instrument, but your notes don't actually change in your harmonies, because a lot of us, we're usually thinking about the lead instrument when we voice, right? So if I do this, and let's say I'm voicing this as a D, then a C. I'm in concentration, good. As a D minor, then a C major, then a D minor, then a C major, then D minor. Watch how quickly I have a repeated note. So I might do instant, and then and let me explode that out. I have that mapped to my MIDI keyboard, which you can't see in front of me, but it's super cool the way you can map MIDI to key commands in Dorico. I'm sure you can everywhere else. I like Dorico. So you see this? That is bad. If at this tempo, da 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 da, not that bad. But if this was at 200 beats per minute, do you know how awkward that is for a saxophonist to play as someone who plays saxophone? I'd be like, ugh, like it's just not fun. So what I might actually do is swap, and I can't swap these voices. You see that? So let's think about where we can swap. Sometimes I'll reharm, sometimes I'll swap. I might actually... That is, for the players, more ergonomic for them to play, especially at faster tempos. Now, if you're looking at it just purely from a score basis, you might go, why did you cross your voices? But as soon as you're a solo player, I mean, just look at this in context. Just this. And let's transpose it. Oh, it's so easy to play. But if I put two A's, especially if this is supposed to be slurred, how do you slur two repeated notes without putting some kind of articulation on? I would say this is more likely to stick out of the texture than my crossing voices was. Does that give you a good explanation? I think it's a pretty good explanation. Definitely going to make a YouTube video about it. I'll leave that over there in case you have another question about it. Right. Back to voicing this out. Need to voice out my trombones. And again, the repeated notes are okay here because it's just two stabs and it's articulation based. Thanks. Is play string? Absolutely string writing. Now for strings, I would say my philosophy changes slightly because it's not necessarily about having to repeat notes in a line, because on a horn it's a fingering thing, but on a string instrument it's a bowing thing. Let's say you have something that's slurred on strings. Well, really that slur is indicating to them to put it all on one bow. But if they have a repeated instrument, the only way to do that is either like stutter or change your bow direction. So you're actually not preserving the slurs saying to put it under one bow if you have a repeated note in there. And obviously, I'm not the most professional string player, but that's my opinion. So what I would say is it's better to cross your voices in that circumstance because it'll be more ergonomic for the player to also play. Voicing this out. I love answering these questions, by the way. Thank you guys for watching. It's like kind of wild that people are watching me just do whatever I want at noon on a Friday. This piece is actually part of a commission, so it's not doing what I want. I have to do my commission. But you know what I'm not doing? My grad school homework. Cool. All right, let's voice. We got our be there. I'm just going to jump to the 7th. I like the distance there. And basically doing like an augmented down to a flat 9 chord there, and they're both G's. G augmented 7 to a G7 flat 9. And that's all about the 5th. And oh boy, do I have some serious opinions about sharp 5 and flat 13 and how I like to write them. For another day. This, I feel like that's good. There's a magic interval. The magic interval is a 10th. And that's because thirds sound great, but thirds are meh, boring, especially arranging out. Because how do we treat this bass trombone? Well, we can't put it in a third to that B because it's so high. That's why we use tenths. So my default go-to voices for bass trombone, I like to keep my bass trombone in this range. Yeah, my face is blocking it. That's how low it goes. So there's my G. And this G to this B sounds great. I think it's equally or more, has more strength than this. You hear the difference there? And when I'm voicing my trombone section, if I'm having my bari sax participate in my bass trombone as this kind of bass choir, I call it, where my bass trombone and bari sax are their bass unit. They're playing bass. They're not going to be playing parts of the harmony. They're going to be playing roots. They're going to be playing fifths. They're going to be outlining it, and almost to the effect that they're part of like percussive accents. So that means you have to know what intervals sound good against a trombone, bass trombone to trombone 3. I think minor sevenths are good. I think fifths are bad because we don't need the fifth in this voice. The fifth in this voice, especially, I should say, against the roots, doesn't contribute anything to this voice. Now, up here it contributes because it's actually a form of tension and release. But if I were to make trombone 3 DD against this GG, what's it actually doing? And if I'm looking for the sound of a parallel fifth, I might activate that. But in this circumstance, I'm looking for tension release, so I'm not going to do that. So here, do I want to do an A flat to G? We will do an A flat G because that's what I wrote in the bass, and it's good to double that. If I were to make that GG but have my bass be A flat G, it will just sound muddy. Now you're probably wondering, why am I writing my walking out? In my opinion, and this is coming from the Navy Staff Arranger, like legit in Navy Staff Arranger, the guy who writes all the charts for like those bands. He says always write a walking bass line out, but you can write ad lib above it to designate that the player can play their own bass line. So I might actually demonstrate that real quick. So here I'll write ad lib, cool, but I provide a bass line, and they can do whatever they want. But here I will write as written. Oops, as written. Just so they know they have to play that hit as I provided it to them because I need that A flat. But I don't necessarily want to put a chord and say G7 sharp 5 sharp 9 over A flat, resolving to that, because it's not necessarily about that. So I'm going to put this in my bari sax. Oh, and I want to clear out these hexagons just so I can. I'm clicking way too many buttons. It happens. I'm clicking all the buttons at once that I shouldn't be clicking. There we go. So, and there should not be a tenuto on those. Who put that there? It was obviously me, but. Do you usually have the root as the lowest voice when voicing for brass, or do you? Alright, so it depends, again, how I'm treating my bari sax and bass trombone. The bari sax and bass trombone playing the root in this circumstance, it's less about it contributing to the harmony and more about it contributing to the effect. I have this personal philosophy where I separate between notes and sounds. Notes and sounds. If I make my trumpets play a cluster and they're all above the staff, is that a harmony or is that a sound effect? Right? Now, it gets a little more obvious if I were to have them like rip up to that. It would obviously be a sound effect then. But anywhere where the timbre of the instrument takes more control or importance over the actual note they're playing, I treat it like a sound effect. So in this case, the fact that it's playing this A flat to G, especially as a pro player, I would want them to play it down there. It's a sound effect. And I want them to play the root because if they were playing anything else in that range, it would be too muddy. And we'll make this forte. So now we got this. Let's listen to this section. I have it zoomed way out. You probably can't even see anything with the YouTube compression. I clicked save, so it has to load. of slaps right now. This slow blues, it's just like tearing at my soul. So the number one thing I feel like I need to fix now is my saxophone ranges. So right now I just wrote something in Alto 1 and copied paste it. I still think I like this range. Okay, I see what I want to do. So I don't want this to go C sharp. Swinging. Oh, dude, I can't wait to put this in front of the WVU bands. They'll play my music pretty much anytime I give them something. So this one will swing. Okay. And I wouldn't be swinging unless you didn't tell me to write that unison sax line there, by the way. So thank you. All right. So I'm thinking about my saxophone ranges. I like that it's all in unison now. I think I need to make a clear dynamic here. Now, this isn't really going to be reflected in playback as much as you would hope, but I think it's important to recognize that all these are supposed to be pretty chill. Oh, it's like that whisper. And then we'll have a crescendo up to a forte. Okay, are you ready for the coolest Dorico thing ever? Because I love Dorico. So watch this. If I select this range, I can type my group dynamics, MP to F, automatic. Across all the parts, automatically puts the crescendo, automatically places it, automatically lines them up. Steinberg, if you're listening, I'm available for sponsorships. All right. I clicked the wrong button. And then here we want to get nice and super quiet again. I keep clicking the wrong button. Shift the MP. So dynamics are the coolest thing ever. We know that as pro musicians. But like, I give us this huge break right here. And then I'm going to make them whisper. I love that my comping sounds like iReal Pro. All right. So here's the point where I'm going to listen to this like 3 times before I make a decision how to proceed. And let me know if you want me to go through and format this piano part, just so you can see how I do it. Because I usually do my piano part, I do it last because I don't make this one play anything. And then if you see I have this piano and then piano with voicings. The piano with voicings is the one I provide for younger students who need to see some voicings. And piano will just be all slashed off for my pro players. So if you want to see how I notate the difference between the two, I will happily do that. And notice here, I put a Q here. That's because the band I'm actually writing this for doesn't have a bass trombone, but we will hire one. A very good player, if you want to. I don't know if she'll come up if you search her, but Olivia Nixon, she plays in River City Brass. She's so good at the bass trombone. She plays on all my songs that are on Spotify. Sorry, my 2 songs that are on Spotify. The 3rd one's coming soon. All right. You see how these rests are down below here? To get rid of those rests, I just need to hide that voice, which means I want to just start the voice over there. Cool. And I provided the cue there just for some strength, just in case this bass trombone isn't there in a rehearsal and they know to play it. Second time the saxes come in. Right on Spotify. I'll put the link to that should take you to my artist profile. And Nightfall is my latest release that came out, and It'll Be Alright was my first big band release I put on there. The other one, don't listen to it, please. I'm trying to get it taken down. It's not bad. It's just not big band. You'll notice my big band style I'm writing on there is pretty unique, especially Nightfall. It's actually jazz hop. It's kind of cool. If you are interested in hearing my new song, I can play it on the stream if you'd like. And pull up the score. All right. I'm digging this. This is a fun chart. It has to be done by Sunday, which, yeah, plenty of time. Okay. And then I quickly want to emphasize, why do I have the repeated notes here? It's actually because I put my slur in the wrong place. So this. There is beauty in repeated notes on accented hits because the dynamics have the musicality to carry themselves on their repeated note. That's why those ones are repeated. Cool. Okay, that's cool. Everything is going as planned. I'm going to see how busy my trumpet one part is. No, that's not bad. Alto sax part, it's a little busy, but it's just quarter notes. They're fine. Cool. All right. So now, what I'm going to do now in this piece is transition over to a trio group. I think a trio group would be cool. Because there is a particularly strong trombone one player, so I think that would be good. And then I need this line because I dig it so much. Thank you for the idea. I would not have written that if you did not tell me. So you get credit. And we're going to make this tenor one. We're going to make this trumpet 2. And we're going to make it trombone 1. Trombone 1. I will put it in trombone 1, but put a Q for trombone 2, just in case. It's a little high. Maybe I won't put it in the trombone. Let's think. We have to think about this. I think it's a little too low for this trombone. The trombones can get their own moment later. Now, I might keep it in alto 1 then. Frankly, this whole tenor line could go down. If it goes down, and I tell it to subtone. Keep it like that. Should I just make it tenor trumpet 2? I probably should. Because these saxes are going to be so quiet, and I'll have it pass off. Yeah. Let's make these all go to mezzo piano. And let's have them decrescendo through this. I did get rid of my cue I wrote here for a demonstration. There we go. Not what I meant to write, but okay. Make sure our dynamics are correct. And I would say these can start crescendoing through all that. And cool thing here is we can link these dynamics and they will like edit together. And I clicked the wrong thing. Or I did something. Group. There we go. Cool, that looks correct. And I'm actually going to reflect that in my playback. If you look here, this is scratched piano. So this is just my comping for comping's sake. Sorry for the iReal Pro level comping. MP. Sometimes I just like to use my mouse, which is actually cut off right now. Yeah. There we go. So now I actually have some dynamic playback in this. It's nice and quiet. For these two instruments. Yeah, that's sick. Okay. That's what I want. Now, I feel like this line might be a little awkwardly too high for a high school tenor player. So let's think about that. The easiest way to break it up here, you see that? I'll harmonize it. Oh, I feel like I actually harmonized this kind of bad now. So let's actually make it just a full A flat 7. It might be cool. A flat 7 to that. Yeah, cool. This, I hate how I put my C flat there. Now we're going to do that. We're going to see if we like this. C flat, F, A flat, yeah. And C. Is an F natural, right? Okay, I don't know, I was confused. Nope. E flat. Down to D, and then this can be my reinforce my melody there. That's pretty cool. I think I like that. How do you like that A flat 7? I think it's pretty good. Listen in context. Gives me more blues vibes. I almost want my soul section to start there. Yeah. Okay, here's what I'll do. So I'll put a solo section here. I'll put an interlude with my second half of the blues into a second solo instead of having an open solo section for the start. That's the answer. And they will be designated one chorus solos. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna take a quick interlude, and I'm gonna play that song I was telling you about. I'm so excited to release. I haven't made the cover art yet. It's the only thing holding me back. It's just the cover art. I'm gonna make sure my audio is shared. And I'll also pull up the score. So this is actually the production value of this. This piece, I wrote it in the DAW. I did not write it in Dorico. Yeah. So, but it's like a full big band arrangement. Minimize. And let's open. Questions, it's called. And here's my score. Can you see that all right? Oh, I'll move my stuff. I think I have a different one. Yeah, and then I think I can show my face up in the corner. I'm like stream cam. Oh, I got really big there for a second. Yeah, there. I'll go show myself up there. Did I jump scare you? And here's the piece. Uh-oh. I'm vibing so hard right now. So if you use Windows, you should get Voice Meter because it's the coolest thing for sending audio, but I clicked the wrong button. Here it is again. Let me know if you can hear it. That's me on alto. Trumpet solo. Also neat. Oh, thank you so much. Here's the solo. I'll tell you all about it after it's done. So I'm probably going to put that out in a month. of all my different presets. There we go. That's the one. It's the context, yeah. So I discovered I love like lo-fi music. I just love lo-fi music. It's so chill, so easy. I love jazz and I love jazz arranging. And like I'm like I want to make beats, but I also want to write big bands. I'm like, what if I just do both? kind of it. I think I'm getting at the sound. Because jazz hop is a genre that exists, and jazz hop is so cool, but I never hear big band arrangements of it. So I was like, I'm just gonna go for it, because obviously, I mean, it's like that's like a 180 shift from the piece I'm writing on stream right now. It's like from straight ahead swing to this. It's pretty cool. I appreciate you digging it. Seriously, you would like Nightfall, which is out right now on Spotify. It's also in the similar vein, and it features me playing Iwi. Yeah. Iwi. It's pretty cool. And it was really humbling because West Virginia University played it, and the students here, some fantastic students, and he had an Iwi, and he played it so much better than me. Oh, I loved it. All right, back to Dorico. Don't look at my messy desktop. All right, so we're definitely going to put a solo section here. So what I'm going to do, I'll delete this example of my voice crossing stuff. We're just going to take this whole section. Abstract orchestra there. Dude, I'm going to cue it up in my Spotify right now so I actually do it. Have you played with them? Abstract orchestra. I think I found it. Yeah, there it is. Okay, here, I'll follow them. And I found the album we're talking about. I'm going to leave that open so I listen to it when I go get my wife from work. That's very cool. Dude, I know that sounds stupid. Like, you said you're from the UK. That's just like so cool. You're just from the UK. I'm chilling in West Virginia. Yeah. All right, I'm going to paste this at the end somewhere just so I don't forget about it. Cool. Look at that. And let's make this a solo section. And just like that, it's now a solo section done and ready. I think I have to wrap up around 1. So this is definitely going to be a solo section. Let's write getting out of the solo section into my bridge. And let's also format my piano parts. So what I do in here, and I actually have to hide it, the piano with the voicings, I hide this one from my score. And I just make it an extra part that band directors can print off for players who need some voicing assistance. Cool. And then I'll just put the regular old piano part on the score. All right. Now I'll go back to gallery view. Ooh, I'm getting spam on my website contact form. You gotta love it. And I'm teaching a theory class, so I made them an exercise on musictheory.net. All right, so here is I actually want to just keep. I guess I actually want to keep all of this the same. But I will rewrite these. So these are C minor 9s. They're C minor 9s. But I kind of like it in that octave. So I'm actually going to just force the piano player, even if they're a pro, they're going to have to read it. But I will give them chords so they can change the voicings. And then this, let's listen. So that's a, That's also a C minor 9, but over B flat. This is a F minor 7. And I think that is a G augmented 7. Was there a flat 9 in there? How do I voice my saxes? Okay, no, it's just augmented. Cool. I'll leave that. Aug 7. Oh, wait. I hate the aug. I hate it when it's not a plus. So we're going to change that right now. In Dorico, I can either pull up the engraving options, or if I type J and I type... Oh, it's no way, it's already queued up. Okay, cool. And we're going to change the augmented to show a plus. Much better. We'll make sure our 6/9 is showing like that. That's how I prefer it. Triangle. And now all our chords are going to be correct. Got it. Close. So much better. And then this repeats. When I click save, it freezes. But that's every project I've ever done on any software. That's just how it goes. And I really want them to play that. So I might put, I don't want to put as written. I just leave that, but I will put these chords throughout the piece now. Applicable. So this is just a big G alt. I guess I'll specify what it is. Flat 9, sharp 9, flat 13. It just looks so silly up there. I'll worry about that later. And don't need to put it in the repeat region. Put it over there. Put it here. And then I missed. I'm going to slide that over. And so I might actually change this chord to again be an A flat 7. Just to be consistent, since I decided on that. That could be repeated, that's okay. I guess it can, yeah. That's already there. And this actually changes my voice crossing, so I don't have to worry about it. Sounds like a tone row. I have to set my engraving options to not write C flats. C flats are bad. And this chord it's resolving to is going to be the same as the one over here. I'll grab those. I just need to change that chord. actually, my solo can start during that turnaround. But I would need this bar just be. I guess if the trumpet player has something good to say, he can start there. Okay. Yeah, that's a cool solo start. I have a gig tomorrow in Morgantown. Oh, I've gotten so many messages in the past hour or however long I've been streaming. Hour, 40 minutes. So, if you're still there, I'm thinking about maybe doing a weekly stream, an evening stream, maybe like Wednesdays at like 9 p.m. A cool maybe hour, 2 hour, just chill, write music, listen to music, talk about music. Could be cool. I want to get I'm trying to think when all my friends, colleagues are free. I almost want to make it a hang. Be cool. Wednesday at 9 p.m. Could be good. Tuesday at 9 p.m. What's better, Wednesday or Tuesday? Because Fridays, people are too busy. They don't want to do Fridays. Plus, my wife would be mad. These look good. These are good looking. And so now I'm going to switch over to slash voices here for my pro piano part, and I'll provide some voicings here for everyone. And that's that chord again. Cool. For our young pianists, let's give them a nice fat chord to play. There we go. So what I've learned to notate for younger players is I will give them the downbeat of the chord. I will actually write them a voicing, and then I'll fill in the rest with slashes so they can optionally comp. And this is easy because they have to play something specific, which will be fill these all out with some slashes. And I will suppress the playback because I wrote my own comping. There we go. That's a beginner piano part. What's cool is I'll actually hide the second staff here to save page space. And then this, I just need to give that. And in my actual comping track, I'm going to put these brass parts in there as slashes. Yeah, that looks good. This good, okay. That's a pretty straightforward part. And then, so instead of slash voices most of the time for my beginner piano parts, I'll actually, or like slashes with stems, I'll just rewrite the voicing for them so they know to play it. And I'll put a slash. No quarter rest, but I'll put eighth rest. That looks good. Nice. This. And here I'll put ad lib voicings in. similar octave, basically saying you can do whatever you want as long as you're playing in the same octave. And the written player, I'll just put a nice, we'll put an as written here. As written. As written. And then as written for the provided voicings. Perhaps an ad lib instruction for the owner. Yes, I'm putting the ad lib instruction will go here as well. Here, I'm going to say as written just because it's a little bit specific, and I would trust an older player to handle that. But when I get here, yeah, I'm going to be putting ad lib on both of those spots after the hit. So, essentially, it froze for a second. Yeah, the ad lib for the younger players, I would say a lot of the players I gear my voicings piano chart for them to learn the song with, but probably after 3 or 4 weeks in like a high school big band, like at school, they would switch to the pro chart because they got those voicings memorized if they're practicing. And then the only thing they actually have to read is those. So these are pretty solid parts. And then the guitar, I'm going to have him rest in the beginning. I always write an optional guitar part because some bands will have a vibes player or a guitar player. Sometimes they have neither. You never know. And they're just going to be doing all this the same, cool, just doubling all these rhythms, nice and easy. And then I'll put a slash. And I will. This is just saving paper. And copy those slashes. And I'll write this one in specifically 6. Very cool. And I'll give him those hits there. And oh, now I can actually just copy and paste this. I'm getting them all the way up to the solo section. Then here we can totally slash the whole thing off there. Nice. There. Slash it off. Excellent. Slash it off. Slash it off. And we'll copy that. And that is actually, there we go. That's hanging over too far. So now, you'll notice, why did I do my bass clef here? And that's just so it appears nicely on the score, because it's customary on the score to have both the treble and the bass clef, even though it's doing the same thing. And I don't have to actually bother with that here in my piano with voicings, because I'm going to hide the bass clef staff here at this point. And I will make a nice template blues for them so they have the voicings provided. Let's do that. And give them the most basic shell voicings I can think of. So hip, isn't it? This one. Oops. I have to change that to a C sharp. I'm just trying to have some voice leading, just so they get the idea. I'll fill that all out. Click the wrong button. There we go. Cool. The blues was shut. Oh, forgot that part. Ow! My cat just scratched me. What are you doing? Get out. Nice. It's good. And now it's kind of redundant to say I live there, but I just putting it after the space so they know they have to come in there again. And I'm gonna hide. Onyx, you gotta stop scratching my leg. I'll feed you after. They have a full bowl of food, but they won't eat it because they want more. Do you have cats? I put my rehearsal marker. And then I'll also make a note there's a trumpet solo here. And then I need to write an obligatory swing. There we go. Dogs. I grew up with many dogs. And it's come here, Onyx. This cat here is the most doggish cat I've ever had. She's just so happy. The other one I have, Bean, is very grumpy. She's very cat-like. Onyx is basically a substitute for a dog. That looks good. And so I'm not going to put the exclamation mark, although I kind of want to. I'll put it right there, just once. All right. I'll even write it like this. I just want them to get the idea. We're swinging. I know. I'm actually supposed to write ride swing. I'll just write ride swing. Let's not have fun. We don't have fun in jazz. What are you talking about? I do that because I frequently will go to like a hi-hat shuffle swing. So if I just establish my words early on in the piece, there won't be confusion later. Cool. So that's like pretty good arrangement so far. And it's short. So now I'm going to go back to that section, and I'm going to get into a more dramatic transition of this. It's almost going to be repeated, but like more exciting than that. Into a tenor solo. And that's where I'll make an optional open solo, and then I'll write probably a 12-bar solo into a 12-bar shout chorus. And I'm not writing longer than that just because they're high schoolers. And then after the shout chorus, what can I do? Maybe just vibe on the rhythm section with the statement of the melody. And then just do a comically large ending. I think that'd be good. All right. I think that wraps up everything today. What do you think about a weekly stream? I'm going to try to get like a weekly thing going. Give it some kind of cool name like Composer Hangout or Composer Guild. The Composer Assembly. Oh my God. The Composer Assembly every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. What time is that for you? I have no clue. We'll find a time. I've been noticing I've been having a large amount of people not US based. So it is important to include them. All right. Thank you for watching. Plenty of good fun doing all this. I have to return an Amazon package now and get my wife. Thank you again. I'm gonna have some videos coming out on like compositional techniques, especially like that cross voicing stuff. Quite busy. Yeah, I know. That's weeks are so busy. That's why I have to do like a weird time, like 9 p.m. Although I think I can. I think I can maybe do like a writing stream, maybe middle of the day, and then I'll do like my hangout stream at like the night and see how it works. Well, I'll gauge it. I've been doing YouTube for not even a month now, so I have no clue how this works. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Appreciate you. And my email is in a lot of those posts. If you ever want me to like look through some of your pieces, maybe on a live stream, and we could just, I don't know, that could be cool. Just a friendly conversation. That'd be cool. I was thinking about doing like music review and, you know, just a positive, look how good this guy's music is. Everyone go look at it. Music feature. If you want to be first, could do that. All right. Thank you. Take care, and I'll see you on my next stream, hopefully. See you.